A guy named Shun is shown at the start of the movie. He was fed up with his life because it was dull and repetitive. Every day, he went to school and returned home, following the same routine. His life had nothing exciting in it, and he was sick of its tedious nature. Whenever he had a day off from school, he often spent his time playing video games at home. It was his only source of pleasure, but gradually, he started getting bored of it as well. Feeling frustrated, he prayed to the Creator, saying, "How dull this life is. I wish human life had the same excitement as games." He longed for a life filled with adventure, just like in video games. The next day, while Shun is in the classroom, his teacher's head suddenly bursts open, and a Daruma doll emerges from it. This Daruma doll is terrifying and begins killing the students in the class one by one, especially those who move. Witnessing this horrifying event, Shun realizes that his wish has been granted, but not in the way he had imagined. He becomes distressed and unsatisfied because many of his classmates are being brutally killed. The Daruma doll sings a short song while turning around, and during this time, any student who moves has their blood vessels burst, leading to an instant and gruesome death. It becomes clear that the Daruma doll is responsible for this massacre. Soon, the classroom is covered in blood, and the remaining students are horrified, screaming in fear. As the chaos unfolds, the Daruma doll continues eliminating students one by one. Then, Shun's friend refers to it as a death game, explaining that they must win to survive and should not be afraid. He points out a fixed button on the back of the Daruma doll, suggesting that pressing it might be the way to stop it. Then, Shun notices a timer near the button and realizes that they have only 1 minute left. If they don't act quickly, all of them will die. Eventually, only 2 survivors remain, Shun and his friend, because they have stayed completely still. Shun's friend tells him, "Only 30 seconds are left. Do it. Jump on me and press the button. That way, we both can survive." Although Shun is hesitant at first, he realizes they have no other choice. Summoning his courage, he follows his friend's instructions. He jumps and presses the button, causing the Daruma doll to fall to the ground. Both of them feel relieved, believing they have won the game. However, their victory is short-lived. The Daruma doll unexpectedly kills Shun's friend, and then speaks to Shun, saying, "I will kill everyone except you, because you pressed the button." Shun is devastated and uncomfortable, realizing that his classmates died for no reason. Soon after, Shun meets his friend Ichika, who informs him that this deadly game is happening throughout the entire school. Like him, she survived because she pressed the button of the Daruma doll in her own classroom. Shun asks her why all of this is happening and suggests calling the police. However, they soon discover that their mobile phones have no signal. Desperate to escape, they attempt to leave the school, but all the doors are locked. Eventually, they reach an area where other students are gathered. Most of them are wearing mouse costumes. As they look around, they notice a phrase written on the floor, "Cat spell." Suddenly, the floor begins to shake, and a giant robotic cat doll appears before them. It starts devouring students one by one, forcing everyone to run in terror, desperately trying to escape. Meanwhile, Shun notices a ball on the ground and realizes that there is a hoop on the giant cat. He comes up with an idea. They might be able to survive by throwing the ball into the hoop. With this in mind, the best basketball player among them steps forward, ready to take the shot. They are about to win the game, but the cat doll stops the ball from going into the hoop. It then throws the ball along with the player, killing him instantly. The remaining students are horrified, realizing that they might not be able to win the game now. As the chaos unfolds, Ichika falls down, and the cat doll begins to attack her. Just as she is about to be eaten, Shun quickly distracts the cat doll by rushing toward it. Since he is wearing a mouse costume, the cat doll shifts its focus to him instead. At that moment, Shun realizes that the cat doll can actually speak to the students dressed in mouse costumes. The cat doll tells them that its back is itching and orders them all to scratch it. It warns that if they make it feel good, it will not harm them. Eventually, as they scratch its back, the cat doll relaxes and falls asleep. Shun sees this as an opportunity. He says, "This is the perfect chance. I can win the game by throwing the ball into the hoop." However, the other students hesitate, fearing that only the player who scores, just like in the Daruma doll game, will survive, while the rest will die. A dispute breaks out among them as panic spreads. Suddenly, the cat doll wakes up and attacks them again. Thinking fast, Ichika and Shun come up with a plan. They throw two objects at the cat doll. One is a bell, and the other is a basketball. Their hope is to confuse the cat doll, making it fail to stop the bell so they can win. As the moment of truth arrives, Shun tries to throw the bell into the hoop, but he misses. They now have only 2 seconds left. Just then, the strongest boy in the school, Amaya, steps in. Risking his own life, he throws the bell into the hoop at the last second. As a result, they win the game. The students feel a sense of relief, and Ichika gets excited upon witnessing their victory. However, Shun remains cautious and tells her, "We still don't know who the survivors of this game will be." The cat doll then responds, "3 of you, Shun, Ichika, and Amaya, are the survivors of the game. The rest are all dead." Amaya then turns to Shun and reveals something shocking. He says, "The creator is behind these games. Only the strongest people can win, and we are the ones who possess this power." Ichika immediately disagrees and tells him, "Shun is nothing like you. He is smarter, stronger, and has a kinder heart than you." Hearing this, Amaya becomes furious. Suddenly, the cat doll releases a knockout gas from its mouth, causing everyone to lose consciousness. Meanwhile, outside the school, the terrible condition of the country is shown. People are in distress, worrying about the horrifying situation. Then, it is revealed that all the winners are being taken away in a floating cube. Many people try to climb onto it, but their attempts are futile. In another scene, a homeless man is shown. As he touches an inoperative radio, it suddenly starts working. This hints that he might also be connected to the mysterious game in some way. Inside the floating cube, Shun wakes up and finds himself face to face with a girl named Takumi, his childhood friend. Along with them, the other school survivors are also inside the cube. Among them is a highly talented boy. A statement appears on a screen that reads, "Search for the keys. Only then will you be able to escape from here." At that moment, 4 wooden dolls appear and explain the new challenge. They tell the students that only those who win the game will be allowed to leave. The rules of the next game are declared. The players must sit in place, blindfolded, while the wooden dolls walk around them, singing a short song. When the song stops, the player must correctly name the doll standing behind them. If they give the wrong name, they will be eliminated. The first player, a talented young man, is chosen. He hesitates and names the wrong doll. Immediately, he is killed. Next, a girl takes her turn, but she too fails to name the correct doll in time, becoming the next victim. Now, only Shun and Takumi remain. Shun is selected by the dolls and is made to sit in the center. The game begins, and the dolls start circling him, singing their eerie tune. As the song stops, Shun remains silent. Suddenly, a voice announces, "Time up." A doll behind him warns, "Prepare for your end." Just then, Shun hears the doll's name and quickly shouts it. The 4 dolls chuckle sinisterly, knowing it's too late. However, Shun smirks and reveals that his phone had been playing an alarm that mimicked the "time up" sound. He had secretly recorded the voices of previous players and used this trick to deceive the dolls. "I still have time," he declares, and then confidently names the correct doll. With that, the wooden dolls explode, and Shun wins the game. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the outside world, where the entire city is watching the deadly games unfold online. Every horrifying moment within the cube is being broadcast live, and the citizens are engrossed in the spectacle. Inside the game, the 7 survivors enter a freezing cold room, only to be greeted by a giant, menacing white bear. "You must answer my questions correctly to survive," it announces. Those who answer incorrectly will meet their end. The first question is simple. What is your favorite food? Each player responds. However, the white bear suddenly declares, one of you is lying. After a tense moment, they realize the liar is the boy. Desperately insists that he told the truth, but the bear does not believe him. Without warning, it kills him on the spot. The second question follows. How many of you like Shun? Ichika, Amaya, and Takumi answer yes, as they know him. The other two boys, who are from a different school, answer no, as they have never met him before. Again, the bear announces, someone here is lying. Shun, puzzled, argues, these questions are too simple. How can anyone give a wrong answer? The bear then reveals, one of you is secretly my partner, lying to eliminate the rest of you. Find them before it's too late. Suspicion falls on Takumi, who isn't from Shun's school. Shun quickly defends her, revealing that she is actually his childhood friend. However, the others refuse to believe him. With time running out, they decide to name Takumi as the liar. Desperately, Takumi pleads with Shun. I didn't lie. I really do like you. But her words are ignored, and the bear mercilessly kills her. Then, something shocking happens. Blood pours from Takumi's lifeless body. If she had truly been the bear's partner, she should have been a robot, not human. A horrifying realization dawns upon Shun. There was only one liar among us, he mutters. He then points at the white bear. And that liar is you. You manipulated us to turn against each other. Hearing this, the white bear begins to tremble, and then its color darkens, transforming into a pitch-black shade. The players have won this round. However, victory feels hollow. Shun is devastated, knowing that two innocent people, one of them his own dear friend, were sacrificed to this cruel game. Now, only 5 survivors remain, and they step into the final level. As they enter, the wooden dolls reappear, applauding them. Congratulations, they announce. You have made it this far. They then explain the rules of the last game. One of you will become the devil, while the other 4 must hide. The devil must find the others and kick the can to win. If the devil succeeds, the other 4 will be eliminated. However, if one of the hidden players manages to kick the can first, they will save the rest, but at the cost of their own life. The players draw sticks, and Amaya is chosen as the devil. The game begins. Amaya places the can in the center and starts his hunt. He easily finds 2 players, beating them mercilessly before locking them away. Meanwhile, Shun and Ichika remain in hiding, but Amaya soon finds them too. Ichika bravely steps forward, sacrificing herself to protect Shun. You don't need to find Shun, she tells Amaya. You already have 3 players. Just let him be. Shun, hidden in the shadows, struggles with a terrible decision. Should he stay hidden and let the others die, or should he step forward and sacrifice himself? Ichika, sensing his dilemma, calls out to him. I know you're kind-hearted, Shun, but please, don't come out. Stay safe. But Shun cannot abandon his friends. Gathering his courage, he emerges from hiding, fully armored. Amaya smirks. So, you think you can defeat me with that armor? He lunges at Shun, grabbing his helmet. All I have to do is take this off and name you. With one swift move, Amaya removes Shun's helmet, sealing his fate. But then, Shun reveals his true plan. I never intended to fight you, he says. I just needed to stop you. With that, armored Shun throws himself into the water, dragging Amaya down with him. They are chained together, and Amaya struggles to break free. But Shun cleverly escapes his armor, leaving Amaya bound. Though badly wounded, Shun rushes to kick the can before Amaya can free himself. At the last moment, Shun succeeds. He wins the game, but instead of exploding, the can remains intact. The dolls arrive, laughing. We lied about the explosion, they admit. This was a test, to see who was truly selfless. The entire city celebrates. The dolls hand out ice cream, marking the end of the ordeal. Shun and Amaya, the only survivors, receive sticks labeled Winner. The others, including Ichika, perish. The dolls declare, survival isn't just about strength, it's about luck and power, and you both had it. The last game, they reveal, was called the Game of Luck. Shun is devastated while Amaya is thrilled. As they step out of the cube, they are hailed as legends. But Shun feels no joy, only fury. He turns against his faith, blaming the Creator for taking everything from him. His friends, his classmates, gone. But the dolls have one final revelation. The same homeless man who had repaired his broken radio at the beginning, the man he barely noticed, was behind everything. He had orchestrated the entire game. Shun stares at him, rage burning in his eyes, and with that, the movie ends.